Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here. We have a fun one for you today. We're going to do a bit of testing in a topic that I think is quite interesting. I always wanted to know, when you ice break an enemy and you get that freeze effect, how does this break effect multiplier actually affect the ice weakness breaking as well? For those of us who don't know, when you have higher break effect, generally increases like the damage done or the amount of delay and stuff like that. But I'm here in this video, I'm actually going to test out Jett, an ice character, who, as you can see here in my build, I have a very high 160% break effect that I'm going to be testing out. I will be removing all of this and making it like 0% in subsequently, and I just want to see the difference, what exactly happens when you have high break effect on ice characters. Now stay with me if you're interested to find out. Now, first things first, I'm just going to go ahead and do the testing. For those of you who are wondering, I'm just using a very simple setup, just some random gear that I'm just like slapping on break effect stuff. There are like sets that I could complete to give more break effect, but of course, this video is just meant to show the difference between both of them as well. Okay, so this is my test subject for today. I'm just going to use my Impair E here, and I'm going to make sure that I weakness break this guy, and we want to see what happens in this setup. So you can see here that he's, if let's say, let me just remove that, he has a 79 turn order, he moved first, so by freezing him, let's see what happens. Okay, so he immediately froze, and when he unfreezes, he's actually going to act like in 56 turns. Over here we can see. Let's just go ahead now. I'm going to just switch to the other build which I have that has totally no break effect. I'm just going to remove all his gear and we will come back to this screen here too. So one of the most important things is I need to make sure that his speed is the same, so I'll try to keep this at like +5 speed that we see here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove all relics. He has 92, so I'm going to just get 5 more speed from somewhere. There we go. Okay, a 5 speed gear unfortunately has a little bit of break effect, but it's like 10% of the original. It's like now only 16.8. So hopefully we can see a bit of difference. The speed is exactly the same as well. So I'm just gonna go ahead, refight. Hopefully we get a similar match with that same weakness enemy. Okay, so this is like the exact same setup as the first testing. Let's just do a E here, and we can see he gets pushed back immediately to 102, which seems to be the same so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and press E and check exactly what is going to be the difference. What I am expecting this to be is, instead of after he takes his turn, he gets unfrozen and he gets pushed up as well. I don't think it'll be the same number like that 50 plus number that we see, or was it 60 plus? But after that, I expect it to be somewhere around like 12 to maybe 14 amount. Especially because this build over here, as we can see, just to show you again, it has much less break effect based on this effect of break effect enhancing weakness breaking. So let's take a look. Okay, now let's just see side by side real quick to see exactly what was the number difference. I can't recall exactly. I'll see you in a bit as well. Okay, so we have seen the comparison and we see that there were exactly the same results using an ice freeze as well. So what does this tell me? If you see here, if you want to enter this screen, you can just like click on this ice icon. You can see all of the different effects for the combat types as well. But there are two parts really for this ice. The first part is freezing the target, immobilizing them of course, and the next one is the ice damage over time. So as we saw from the first testing, there is absolutely no difference in terms of the amount of slow that you do or the after freeze effect when you increase the amount of break effect for ice characters. Now, which comes to the second part is how significant is this ice damage over time, and how much, for example, if we increase the amount of DOT, what will this vary exactly as well. So in order to do this, we have to be very careful with our build. We don't exactly want to tweak like defense, attack numbers. We don't exactly know what this scales off with right now, and that's why we're going to be doing a bit of testing. I just want to switch the amount of break effect that is available on a particular character too. For this test, I'm actually going to be using Pella for this test, because she's going to have a light cone that allows her to have more break effect as well. So let me just switch the build real quick and I'll get back to us in a little bit. Okay, and we're back with the break effect test. We are actually going to test, for example, now I have here a 74 break effect build for Pella. I basically am just equipping Fermata, which gives me 20% break effect, and this wind shear and shock doesn't really matter. We are not going to be using that in this testing here. One of the important things I have to make sure is I want to use like as little gear as possible, so when I remove stuff or switch stuff around, it won't really affect. So as you can see here, I'll be removing these 3 plus zeros here, which basically gives me like 16% here, 16% here from the effect, so 32 will disappear, as well as a lot of them. As you can see, for example here, there's like 5.8. This one has like 5.8 here. Wind damage bonus also, so it doesn't tweak the number as much. This is an effect hit rate one, which doesn't give me like too much attack, although we have a bit of attack in subs. So these are the 3 that I'll be removing to test between both of them, and it will drop the damage significantly as well. Now that we have like the details out of the way, I want to go and send Pella right now in, and I want to test exactly how much the damage over time changes. After that, we will level her up to maybe level 80, and we'll see what's the difference between a 72 character and an 80 character for ice specifically too. Okay, so this is the first test that we have. I'm simply just going to shield Pella up. I don't want her to die halfway. Okay, great. So now I'm actually going to just use a single attack because this one shreds ice. I don't want to add the RNG involved. So let's take a look at the damage. Okay, so I think that was a 2270. I will put the numbers up on screen later on and compare side by side. I'll probably slow it down. But first, we've already frozen this guy. Let's watch him unfreeze to see the damage that is being done. Okay, so we tested that. That was like 2522. Now let's go ahead and take off all the gear from Pella as well. Okay, so same thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and shield Pella up real quick. Just to show you the numbers now, I'm running a 25% break effect, so that's about 50% less for this build comparison. So I'm just going to use a Q again, normal attack. 1632. And let's watch him unfreeze. I'm just going to hit this. So basically what we saw from that test, that very quick test, is break effect mainly for ice characters affects this second part here of the amount of damage that's being dealt. As we can see, like, it's not significantly higher. Like, the initial breaking was slightly less, and the second one when they unfreeze and they get some DOT was also a little bit different as well. But I wouldn't say like you want to build a lot of break effect, for example, on ice characters. It's nice to have, but I wouldn't say it's a high priority since the damage is really not that much in totality also. So now the last part that I want to have is exact same build that I have as we saw just when we closed the screen. So that was like 18 something. I'm going to just go ahead and level my Pella up to level 80, and I want to see the difference between a level, for example, 72 versus a level 80, just to see whether it actually makes sense to take ice characters up all the way. So I'm just going to go ahead here, pump her all the way up. Of course, this is going to be the exact same build. The only stats difference is, of course, I get a bit more bonuses from leveling from 72 to 80. So now let's go back in and see exactly what's the difference as well. Okay, so exact same thing, shield her up. I always have to ensure that Pella is the one that does the breaking, because if not, it takes into account the other characters' break effect ratios as well. So just to show you again, this is exactly the same, 25.1%, just that this is a level 80 Pella instead of 72 that was the previous one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze this unit. Okay, I'm waiting for this guy to unfreeze so that you can see the damage number. So in totality, after looking at all the videos of this clip so far, the comparisons, we came to 3 different conclusions in here. First things first, definitely higher break effect doesn't affect the freezing and the unfreezing in terms of turn order manipulation. So if that's our objective, that doesn't really work for ice. What it does do, like break effect, what does it do for ice characters is increasing this additional ice damage as well. But we saw that the number difference doesn't seem too significant. I don't think it makes a big difference compared to like some of these other elements as well. And for those of you who are interested maybe in finding out what does break effect exactly do for this other element in a similar fashion, do give me a like, subscribe for more of such future content, and I'll leave the next one, which I think might be interesting as well, right here as well. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.